episode of the No Shade Zone. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva, also known as T. Arrington, and the director of Vicious Cycles Malik's Redemption Part 2. And today I'm here with our lead actress who plays Whitney in the new film. She may look new to you all, but she's been a part of this cast for a while. But without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey y'all, it's Liz Monet, another day, another slay, aka Tira's little sis, aka Whitney number 2.
And as she said, another day, another slay. Even though she's new on the screen in this new film, she's also always been a part of Vicious Cycles, because on the first Vicious Cycles, she actually did all the makeup and the hair. So every look that you see,
Okay, don't take a look back at that.
you know. So tell the people more about that. Another day, another slay. Tell people about your business, what you do, and what do you represent?
First of all, I'm a woman of God. Let's say that first. Praise to God. Praise to Jesus Christ himself. I'm a freelance, up-and-coming cosmetologist, soon-to-be celebrity hairstylist. Yeah, I do hair and makeup. I love making people feel beautiful and good about themselves. And this is just the first of many gigs. I want to do stuff like this more often. Movie sets and fashion shows, stuff like behind the camera. So, yeah.
So before we go any further, a lot of them didn't want to share their social media, but I believe she will. So tell the people where they can find you on social media if they want to book you for some of your services.
So my Instagram, my business page is Elizabeth Monet _. That's ELIZABETHMONET _.
All right, follow her. Look, and she did my hair, y'all. So
yes.
you know, get
Quick
into it.
on the way.
All right, but so like we said, we asked Brandon a few questions pertaining to his role, because he also was a character that replaced a previous actor. So tell me about what your experience was like actually stepping into an existing role that somebody had already played. Was that hard?
It was kind of hard. It was like the bar was already set. I'm like, okay, so I gotta really, because I was there for the filming for the first one. So I'm like, okay, Shatea already did a good job. So I ain't never acted in nothing before. I was already nervous. You know what I mean? Already nervous. So I'm like, okay, let me really pull this together and remember my lines. How long did I have to even remember my lines?
Well, okay, so yes, we'll talk about that, because so we talked a little bit about how Brandon was brought in very sporadically, but she also was brought in sporadically, because we've been telling you all, everybody a part of this cast are real people with real lives, real stories. And so Shatea, she had some things that came up in her real life that kept her from being able to be a part of this production. So when we brought Elizabeth in, or Liz, when we brought, I don't even call her Elizabeth, I don't even know why I just said that. When we brought Liz in, Liz had maybe like 2 weeks, because we already have the production schedule already set. And honestly, I would like to say she did it for me, but I'll ask you, what was your main reason for wanting to be involved and actually go from behind the camera to in front of the camera on this new Vicious Cycles?
I feel like I wanted to challenge myself. I like creative. This is something creative. You're my sister, so of course I'm gonna support you 100%. But I guess I just wanted to try it out. I've never acted before, so it was like a chance for me to, just do something different and hone into another character for real. So
was that hard for you at times, kind of channeling the energy?
It was a little bit. It definitely was.
Was there anything in particular that you did that kind of helped you hone in on who she was?
I just thought about how I would react in them situations. I just more so, even though I was playing a character, I kind of just acted like myself. That's what helped me a lot.
Okay. And honestly, I definitely can see that, and I love when actors do bring that flavor of who they are to the camera, because that originality, just because I wrote it a certain way, it may not be how you would say it, and so it does seem more natural when you put yourself into it.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, since you have been around for a while, for the first Vicious Cycles, what was your favorite scene from that first Vicious Cycles that you didn't get an opportunity to reenact in the new film?
Oh my God. Okay. I gotta really think back. My memory. I got like a 2-week span. Cause I did the car put out.
Right, you did the car put out where he put you out of the car. You also did
the date night one. Oh my gosh, that date night one on top of the. Yes. Okay. I would have did that with the girl. Yeah, I would definitely did that one.
So, with that being said, I guess what would you say was your favorite scene in this new film without giving too much information, like kind of acting out.
The car ride, definitely. That was my favorite. No, the car ride and the church scene too. Any scene I had to act a little catty, it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like you definitely like gave it the energy that it was supposed to have. Like y'all, like just watching y'all go back and forth, like it was amazing because, like I said, writing the script and actually seeing it come to life is like two different things. And so when I watched the scene with you and Raquel inside of the church, to me, I was cracking up the whole entire time. Because like you said,
real. You really start to feel like
yeah, it was pure chemistry. Like it was pure chemistry. Like it was some things you did in that scene, and I was like, oh my god, like she was really in the moment because like I didn't tell you to do that. Yeah. So it actually like flowed really well. So how was it? Because we asked Brandon about that, you know, historic car ride put out scene because a lot of people really like felt that scene. So tell me, like, how was it actually getting put out of a car? And have you ever experienced anything like that in your real life? Because it's a real thing.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
People don't think it happens, but it happens.
It definitely do. All right. So for the scene, you know, like we said, I was feeding off of his energy for real. So it was like a build up to it. It's like, all right, let's argue a little bit more. Like we were just feeding off each other. It was really crazy. Like it felt real.
Did you feel unsafe because he didn't know how to drive?
Just a tad bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. You weren't even in the car. Right?
Yes, I was.
You were in the car?
Remember, I was in the back seat.
I told you my memory.
Listen.
I was a tad bit scared. I'm not gonna lie, because he never drove before, and we was in that parking lot,
and we kept. I said,
yeah,
he's on them brakes a little bit. No. But no, like, it's funny that you didn't remember that, but
yeah.
I was behind Brandon the whole entire time. The whole time. And you're in the first scene in the first film, I was behind Malik.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then I also was behind y'all too. I got pictures of me crouching down in the back seat. That's how I was directing y'all on what to do, like how to keep, you know what I mean? I gotta be in there to see what's going on. So like that, I think a lot of people will find interesting because my dad, he even asked me, and he saw the film. You guys haven't, but you will. But when he saw that scene, he was like, "How did you shoot that scene?" Like I said, I was in the back seat the whole entire time. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. But that scene for me was definitely one of my favorite scenes. And I think that when we reenacted it this time around, we got to see more dialogue between you and see the build up of how and why it ended up like him putting you out of the car.
Yeah.
But you said, so you did say you have experienced that in real life, or?
I have experienced that in real life. It was not, wait, did I get put out to where I had to walk? Like I said again, my memory, and that was a while ago. My first relationship, you know who that was. It was probably like a threat, get out the car, but you know me, I ain't getting on no car.
And that's the energy she was giving in that scene. She was like,
and
she said there, I was like,
you gonna push me out, make me.
She was, and you know what? It's so funny that you say that because I can tell that you were channeling that emotion in that scene because that's exactly what you did in the scene. You looked at him and was like, no, I'm not getting out of the car. You're gonna take me home. And honestly, like ladies, I mean, if a man puts you out, you should demand that he takes you home because he should be worried about your safety more than anything. But so we recreated, you know, a few scenes in order to kind of let the people know like that you were actually playing Whitney. And did you say that was your favorite scene?
It was one of them. I feel like it was between that and the church scene, but I feel like that because it was like more like, I don't want to say intimate, but it was like a, how do I
it allowed you to tap in.
Yeah, it allowed me to tap in more, and it was like more organic, kind of like the church scene. It was kind of still a little bit nerve wracking. But the it just felt like something that happened to me already, so I just kind of
right, just put yourself back there.
Yeah.
So you know, in this film, you're playing pretty much the side chick. So how do you feel about playing the side chick? And you know, I'm gonna dig deep and ask: have you ever been the side chick? And has that given you new perspective? Has this film giving you new perspective on that scenario?
I didn't feel no type of way about it because I mean, answer the second question, yes, I've been in that position before. So it was like, it was kind of revisiting the situation for real, but I didn't feel any type of way about it. So, but I have been in that situation, but not willingly.
And just curious, because in the film, you know, the side chick and the main chick meet each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have not experienced that in real life, how would you have handled that scenario? Like, would you have handled it the same way? Would it have been peaceful? And without telling too much, hint, hint, like, would you have plotted revenge?
I feel like for me, it probably would have been peaceful because I like to be mature about situations, especially dealing with, you know, those kinds. So it would have been peaceful. I wouldn't have handled it like I handled it in the film. I mean, I'm not even going. Old me might have. She might have, because I used to take my anger out on the wrong person. You feel me?
One of the things, and I know we talked a little bit about being the side chick, but one of the things that I think is most important for me as a director to kind of mention about that scene is that I ultimately wanted to show unity between Black women. Because, you know, it's not often that we get to see two Black women connect and care about each other's well-being more so than, you know, the man or whatever the case may be. Like,
off emotion.
Exactly. So it was very important for me to kind of show that unity between you all and like really show like, okay, you know, somebody could put themselves in your shoes and say, hey, like, you know, I see you're down and out. I know what I know, but I'm still going to make sure you're okay. But yes, I really wanted to just show that unity between characters. So that's why I had you all do that. So you spent a lot of time on set with Brandon and Raquel, Karen's character. So who would you say, like, you know, out of the whole entire cast was most like their character, and why?
I'm gonna say Raquel, cause Raquel was just sweet spirited, like she just bubbly, happy, and it's like she seems like the type, like how she handled the situation. That seems like how she would handle it.
Very mature,
very mature,
and she
grace,
would. And she is very selfless. I agree. I think that she would, like, even in her hurt, be able to reach out her hand to another woman and say, hey, like, sis, I see you, you know, you're going through this, what's up? With that being said, you know, what did you like about playing your character? Like, what were some character traits that, you know, she carried that you like or didn't like so much?
I didn't like the fact that she got out of that car. She gave up too easily for me because I would have kind of fighting and stay in that car. But got it. I like how she did actually like kind of stand up for herself in a sense with the Karen thing for real. Like she didn't just.
You're like, he's here, y'all.
Yeah, she didn't just let Karen run all like. Even though she didn't handle it, Karen didn't handle it like that. But she didn't let Karen just run all over her because Karen was the main chick. Like she still stood up for herself for real. Yeah,
I agree. We did, you know, kind of get to see her put her foot down and let Karen know that she wasn't going to disrespect her, but that, you know, she appreciated even the thought of her even, you know, stopping for a second, knowing that she knew who she was.
Yeah.
But, you know, you all didn't get to see what happened inside the church yet, but you will, because I know a lot of people from the first film. Bye.
Crazy. Like, why you want to get up here now?
Because he act like he want to be in camera, but every time there's a camera, he want to get in it. Anyway, because I think a lot of people from the first film wondered, like, what happened inside that church, because they expected, like, if you walked up and saw a woman that you knew was messing with your man, but she didn't know that you knew and neither did he, how would you have carried that situation? And I think that we got to see Karen handle that in a very mature way, because I know a lot of us would act off of emotion, especially being that Malik probably, you know, did like do a lot of damage to her particularly. So I know I would have saw rage and I would have just lashed out immediately. But no, Karen extended her hand. She heard from God, and God told her esteem yourself or esteem others higher than yourself and be there. And that's what she did. She reached her hand out to a young Black woman and helped the sister out. And how important would you say, you know, that is in today's society in general?
That's so important because as women, and especially in situations like that, we tend to put each other down or point the finger at each other when in reality, the problem is normally
the man.
yeah.
Because
So
he made a decision also.
yeah, and I feel like if we just uplift each other and unite a little bit more, like things could be so much more different. I mean, I see it happening, kind of like we're reclaiming our power now. But if we just help a sister out, you know what I'm saying? Like things could go way more easy, like way much more easier. Like
I agree. I definitely agree because, you know, one of my friends and I, we were having a conversation like a week or so ago where we kind of talked about like as black women, we're so forced to just grin and bear it. Like take everything and be okay no matter what. And so, but we always experience the same experiences, but we're also taught to keep everything in and save face and not really tell the truth of what's going on. And so we do need more of those conversations where we say, hey, like sis, I've been there too, and this is how I got through it.
Help the next person. Like we all going through stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that being said, like what would you say the main theme is like for this film? Like what would you say like the biggest lesson or biggest takeaway that you have from this film?
Breaking them generational curses, breaking them cycles, like stop repeatedly doing the same thing. I mean, and even if it's not you doing the same thing, it's generations doing the same thing. Like just taking a hold and taking our power back. Like that's so important because, I mean, and going downhill because of it.
Right.
Honestly.
And if Elizabeth had to give the first step to breaking a generational curse, what would that first step be?
Confront yourself.
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I mean, because it takes a level of intentionality, like to really like do a soul search and say, hey, I know this pattern in me exists. And where did that come from? So how important, like, you know, have generational curses that kind of played a part in your life, if you don't mind sharing?
Very important. I mean, in a love way, you know, that's deep. I don't even want to get in the, oh God. In a lot of ways, like in everything you do. I mean, even it goes to the childhood trauma thing we were just talking about earlier. Like,
and we explore that thing in the film too.
Things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, we don't even realize it's coming from stuff we dealt with in our childhood or stuff that our parents were dealing with that just passed on to us. Depression, anxiety, bad coping mechanisms to our problems. Like, it's a lot of things that I see in my life also. So it's very important.
I agree. Well, I thank you for stopping by. We got a chance to meet the new Whitney. You know, we unbibbed the old one out and we put her in.
Oh my God.
Now, but Vicious Cycles, Malik's Redemption will be coming to your screen sometime this fall. And thank you all for tuning in. And one more time, if you want to let the people know where to find you and book you for your hair service,
Elizabeth Monet _ on Instagram, and also Facebook. It's Elizabeth Monet.
All right.
Book me.
Look, book a young black woman, support black business. She is serving the Baltimore area. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow your host at goldchain_diva or comic_sauce on all social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you